So you see in the sheet that I here say roll 2 dice of 3. I would like this to be an icon in the actual card, on the actual cards. So how do you do that? Let's go to the next page where I have this set up. One possibility is to let me just grab this dice and go to, let's say, master, so we can see. Okay, so what is this? This is a PSD bone dice icon PSD that I imported, and but this is not the correct dice. But I was clever when I made the Photoshop. I created some different layers and naming and folders, which means that whenever I'm in InDesign and you have imported as Photoshop, you can right click, you can select the image, right click and say Object Layer Options, and you'll get this handy view of the layers in the Photoshop. So in this particular case, I could remove these 2 layers or hide them, and I would have a 1. I can remove these, and I would have a brown die, and then I can add the one I'm looking for, the 3 bones. Okay. So one possible thing to do when you make rules or cards is that you could actually just jump directly to the text. Put your cursor where you want and paste in the image. In this particular case, you might think, it's a little bit too big. What if I have the dice on the second row here? What you can then do is you can first of all scale it down. Then you can right click and say anchored object options, and then just move it down. Let's in this case 0.5, and I can preview. Oh yeah, that looks fine. Preview here, and then OK, and now we have it in the text. So, but this is a manual, quite manual, labor-intensive way of doing it. If I want 2 dice, I can just paste it again, and so on. And so instead of writing 2, I could just do like this: roll 2 dice. But as I showed before, there's the option to add icons like this. They are not as detailed graphically as you can when you paste art file, but they are vectorized icon styles, and the way you do it is actually by creating a custom font. It sounds complicated. It is not so complicated, but complicated enough to that I might look at this video myself at a later point. So instead of these 2 art files, we want to try this new icon, and we need to find a way of typing these icons in the CSV file. So when I'm in this file, I might want to say, instead of roll 2 path 3, I might want to be able to say I'll use the letter I for, because in my dice it's an I, and then 1, and 1 is actually just a code. This was something I took up from Daniel Solis at one point. 1 is just a code to make sure that this I1 is rarely appearing in your text. So so it's a code that will be specific for your icons. So if I wanted to do do this icon, I might put it on the X in the font. So I would say X1, and that would be the two icons. When I export that and get it in, I would here have I1, X1. but it should not look like this. It should be icons. Okay, how do we do that? We just simply create a custom font. Okay, first of all, to create fonts, there's several options. I previously tried this one, GLIPS app. I really think it's a really great app for creating fonts, custom fonts. But since this is a very, I don't want to have all the tools to create ligatures and fonts. I just want a simple way to create these icons. So I found this bird font app that when you download it, and it's for Mac also, which I'm happy by because I'm running this from a MacBook. And you want to create a new font, it will require you to say that you will publish the font as an open font license. Otherwise, if you want to have a commercial license, you will need to pay. I think it's only $5 for that. So it's. But for now, we'll just do this, and then we'll say create new font. And there was somewhere, whatever. In my case, I would call move icons, right? Or something like that. Icons, whatever. Okay. What you then need to do is you need to select where to put your icons. And I already stated that I want to put it on I and X in this case. So you go to your Illustrator in this case. You could use Figma or whatever you want. And probably import them another way. The cool thing here is in Illustrator, because it's picture, I can just copy paste it directly to the bird font. So this one, what I will say is that since it's 3 elements, I just make sure they're one by combining them in the pathfinder. And then I will add this one to the eye, double click the eye, paste it in, and oops, it's really big. Resize. Here it is. Resize tool. Just resize it and move it. There. Okay, that was it. Easy enough. Easy. Let's take the X. Import, export font. I actually don't need the SVG, so I'll just click that one off and then say yes, that folder. Here it is. Font book, Moog, icons, Mac, whatever. I think it doesn't matter which one of those two I take. And there it is. We see our new font. Hooray! And then we're gonna go back to InDesign. And now we are. Why is there no paragraph styles in this document? I'm in the wrong document. Yes. So let's say role I1 X1. That's what we need. And from the previous lesson, we already created this italic character style, the main body, the disappear. What we now need to do is we need to create a font style. And I think I'll just copy the main body. Doesn't matter, but main body copy, and I'll call it icons. And the basic thing is here that we need to choose the new font. That should be here, but it's not. Mycons. Okay, Mycons. Maybe it is here. Mycons. Boom. I'll call it Mycons. Or yeah, Mycons. Okay. So now we want to go to the body basic paragraph, create a new style. Whenever you have an I followed by a 1, so the question is what comes after I is 1, then we want to apply the icon style. So should that already work? Yeah, it worked-ish. The problem is it replaced the 1 and not the I. Maybe I did it wrong. Maybe it should be I, and then what comes after equals 1. Yes. But now we have a 1 still there that we want to get rid of. And now we can use the other one, because we don't want to remove the I. But if we have a one that is preceded by an I, then we want to remove that one by using our disappear style from the previous lesson. And it's gone. What we can do now is just to duplicate this one, but I'll just copy it and say, instead of I, we now want an X, and we want to use the icon font. And it happened, hooray! Now we just need to remove that I. So we could either copy, create a new style copying the same code here, where we just change the I to an X. But you can also actually say, instead of this, you can also say parenthesis I don't know the name of it in English, but this one. And then say I or X before 1, then remove the 1, and it happened. Okay, so what you can do is you can create individual character styles for each icon, so you can have individual settings. Right now I want the same setting for both of these because they're dice. So what we can, wrong. I can just right click and say edit icons. And what I want is I want them to be a little more bigger, so they fit better with them, with the rest. And maybe, if it's possible, I want to shift the baseline. Is it possible? Nice one, yes. Baseline down. Perfect. Boom, boom. And here you have it. And okay, yeah, we can also just edit this and choose a stronger color if that's needed. And this is pretty clever, because now you can write your data here and add codes whenever you want specific icons and import it, and voila. Thank you for tuning in. I hope there will be more of this.